hippie-ish chick stuck in middle suburbia, here to help you navigate your higher spiritual life in a consumer-driven world. Join me for discussions on practical applications of holistic ideals. Hey, all my misfits. Welcome to the Suburban Misfit. So I am currently in the car driving back to my residence in Georgia. I got to spend 10 days with my mom and my stepdad and got to visit some with my brother and his girlfriend and his friends, and spent an amazing afternoon with one of my really, really close, longtime friends. And I'm feeling really bittersweet driving back, of course, because, I hate leaving my mom and my family and my friends and my hometown. I mean, I'm just so drawn to that area every time I cross over the Howard Franklin Bridge going into Pinellas County from Hillsborough County. I just feel like this sense of peace wash over me when I get onto that bridge, and I know that I'm home. And so many people can't relate to that feeling, and they just say, home is, what you make it, and home is where you are, and home is where, this is and that is. But for me personally, I just resonate so deeply with that area and have for so long. I mean, I've always just been so grateful and so thankful that we moved there when I was 8, and I just soaked it all up, and it's just such an amazing place for me and just fills my soul and my spirit up. So, that part, of course, is sad for me, and of course, leaving my mom because, she's getting older, and though she won't admit it, but, and with coronavirus and COVID, she's not able to get out as much as she had been able to before and get to visit with her friends. And going to the grocery store is kind of an event for her. That's just something that she did, and going out shopping and things like that. And she lost her 13-year-old dog in January or February. So that's been kind of a sad time for her. And, I'm sure she's lonely, even though she has my dad there with her. It's just been difficult. So for me, coronavirus and COVID has been a blessing in disguise, because I've been able to visit her in the last 3 months, 3 or 4 times, and spent, anywhere between 5 to this last time, 10 days with her, and, just kind of helping her get some nice things in her backyard so that she can spend time out there and enjoy her time out there. We put some wind chimes up last time I was there, and this time we bought, a few little plants and some little plants in the front yard and the backyard on a little shelf and stuff, so she can kind of hang out there and read and just get outside and get some fresh air. And, I've spent more quality time with my family in the last 3 months than I think I have maybe, quite possibly, my entire life. And it's been amazing for me, and hopefully for them, but definitely for me. I got to actually have some in-depth conversations with my mom and my stepdad, and that was nice, being able to be open and frank with them about things, and just being able to, not feel judged or looked down upon or anything. And, my brother and I have had some great conversations here and there throughout, and just feeling closer to him and, kind of bonding with him a little bit. And it's been so great just kind of like looking at my little brother, who's not so little anymore, and seeing him come into his own, and, just from where he came from to where he is now. And I'm sure he doesn't see it as much as I see it, but I'm just so enamored and proud of him. And, he's just like, I'm so thankful that he's my brother and he's part of my life. And So, driving back to Georgia and going back home, reevaluating some things. I got to spend a great afternoon with my friend Peggy, who has been my friend since, I think, 95. And she and I just connected almost immediately when she started working at the fitness center where I was working, and the physical therapist that we were working for. And it was just like an immediate connection. Like we just had this bond and talked and had so many amazing conversations while we were at work, and, each of us in our own struggles, but we had this common theme of, you know, spirituality and the divine feminine, and, just connecting to the goddess and the feminine part of God. And I'm just always been so thankful for her. I've told her numerous times that she's like my barometer, and, I always check in with her, and I always feel like I've plugged into a part of my soul when I spend time with her. And so we got to spend an afternoon and toured my hometown, even though I grew up there and I've been, I moved there when I was 8. There was just so many things that, I love seeing and love driving past. And, I love getting in my car when I go home and driving around and reminiscing about things, and, just pretending I'm a tourist and looking at things with a touristy eye, but also having that heart connection to the places that we go and we visit. So she and I, downtown St. Pete has amazing artists, and they've allowed them to put their art up on buildings to as murals, and it's just so fascinating to see the different styles of artists. And it just puts a smile on your face when you see all the bright colors and the individuality that people have put into their work. And so, we did some tours of some of the murals that are down there. And over in Jordan Park area, they had put a street mural for Black Lives Matter. And so we got to see that, and that was really amazing. And then there's another artist there, Alyssa Marie, and she is doing the Happy Mural project, and she paints sunflowers on buildings and homes. And so that was so bright and cheerful. And, I think it was good for Peggy too, because, it got to brighten her day, and she got out of the house as well. And, we drove around in the car with masks on so that, we wouldn't cross-contaminate each other. But, then we drove around some areas down in downtown St. Pete, and got to eat dinner together outside. And it was just so peaceful and so calming for me. So today I kind of just want to touch on home, wherever that is for you, whatever that might feel like for you, and how important it is for you to check in and make sure you make that connection to whatever is home for you, whether that's the mountains or the woods or the beach or the forest, or, whatever that is for you, whatever feels like and peace, and that feeling. It just feels like deja vu and peace and love and warmth all rolled into one. And, hopefully this isn't too far-fetched for some of you, but, if you just take a second to just stop and think of a time that you felt the most at peace, even if it was back when you were a child, when you were a teenager, in your 20s, 30s, whatever. Just try and pull that feeling. Is it at your grandmother's house? A certain smell from your past, a certain sound from your past. I know for me, homey things are the smell of my grandmother's house. It wasn't that quite old lady smell, but it's a warm, comforting smell. And then also for me is the sound of a box fan, because when we were growing up, we didn't have air conditioning. My grandmother had a wall air conditioning unit, but she didn't run it all the time. So, oftentimes she would put fans in the window or an oscillating fan in the living room. And, a treat for us was to like go take a bath or a shower and then get to sit in front of the fan in your t-shirt and underwear so that you could cool off before she would turn the air conditioner on in the evening. So, a box fan is a comforting sound for me that kind of brings me back and snaps me back into my soul. So, take some time to find what that is and then check back in with that often, because when we do that, we settle the energy in our body, and we plug back into source and spirit, and can rejuvenate our mind and our soul, and, just kind of check back in to where it is we belong. Because so often from day to day, we get up, we check our phone, we chug some coffee, we go to work out, some of us, not me, work, come home, make dinner, eat dinner. A lot of times we even eat and we're eating mindlessly. And so we just have these routines that, yes, they take us from point A to point B and they put money in our bank account, but we're not feeling connected. Some of us have jobs that we might like them or are good at them or enjoy them, but are they jobs that really kind of, make us feel like we've accomplished something, we've participated in something, we've made a difference in the world? And, if you don't have that type of job, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to have a job that contributes to society, but if we don't have that fulfilling part of our job, we need to make sure that there is something fulfilling in our life where we do feel connected, where we feel like, we've made a difference in the world. And, whatever that may be, whether that's volunteering somewhere or connecting with friends or connecting with source and spirit, we each have to find our own individual thing that plugs us back in. But, our souls and our spirits need that plug in. You plug your phone in at night to charge the battery. You keep your TV and all your appliances plugged in so that they're constantly running, but we don't think that we are energy as well. So we need to be plugged back in so that we can rejuvenate and charge our spiritual batteries. So I encourage you to, take the time to figure out what that is that plugs you back in, and do it as often as you can. You might not be able to do it every day. You might not be able to do it once a week, but as often as you can, it's important to do that, because that fills, that quote, fills your cup up. It fills your cup up, and it makes you able to function and participate in life more fully. So, definitely do that. And I'm a little nervous about announcing this part, but I have my holistic coaching certificate and am currently in Ayurveda school to become an Ayurvedic practitioner, which is a couple steps above that. But I also have my coaching certificate. And so, I kind of want to offer that to people so that we can, sit and talk and figure out what it is that your source is, and, maybe figure out how you can have that home place that you can plug back into, and find out what it is that, makes you feel most at peace and most connected with source and spirit. And so, I'm offering my coaching services finally, and I do one-on-one holistic health and wellness coaching as well as life coaching. So if you're interested in that, you can message me on any of my social media or DM me there, and we can talk some more about that. I'm working on getting a website set up. My brother, who is the bomb. I love him so much. He let me borrow one of his laptops so that I can figure out how to edit things on my own and create some graphics and hopefully get my website set up. So I'm working on getting a domain name that resonates with me, that kind of just fits who I am, and get that set up. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate you so much. You're the best. But let's reach out to me and we can talk, figure out, what would work best for you. But even on your own, like I said, just figure out what that is that makes you feel most at peace and most calm, even just for a moment, because it's so important. It's so important for us to recharge and rejuvenate ourselves and our spirits, because we're all energy. I mean, I think we forget that, but we're all just energetic beings, and we need to continue that. And, when we just keep going day to day and chugging along and doing the same thing, and, we might have a goal or an end goal in mind, but is that 20 years from now, 40 years from now? Are we really trying to, make the most out of our life on a frequent basis? So yeah, just find something that makes you smile. Find something that makes you breathe a sigh of relief and a sigh of happiness on a regular basis. I know this was a really quick podcast episode, but I wanted to check in with you guys and share some things, on what's going on in my world the last few days, and share with you the fun things that I got to do and the things that I got to see. And if you check my Instagram, I posted some videos there, and it's just so nice. I mean, it's so simple, it seems, but if there are things that just bring you peace, then it can mean the world to you. So, for example, when I was a little kid, my grandmother used to bring me to the library all the time, and I would always leave with the biggest stack of books. And, I was just kind of like greedy and, just wanted all the books. I want all the books. And so I'm probably the reason why libraries put limits on the number of books you can check out now, but I would just read incessantly. And, so the smell of the library is a favorite smell to me as well. But one of the branches that I used to frequent, I happened to drive past when I was meeting my friend. And so I asked her, I said, can we stop over there? I just want to go take a picture in front of the library. Cheesy, I know, but I had to take a picture in front of the library sign. And so she laughed and she took a picture of me, and we walked around the back of the building. We didn't go inside, but we walked around the back of the building, and there's a lake back there. And so there were ducks, and, there was a mama duck there, and her 6 or 8 little ducklings were following behind her. And, there were some other birds out there that Peggy knew the words or the names for, but, she just blew my mind with that. And, so we were out there talking to the ducks, and then there were some turtles that came along, and they kept popping their heads up in the lake. And so we would just squeal and just say, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. And it was just the most fun. But it was so simple, but we felt like little kids, like we had never seen a turtle before, or never seen some ducks before. And so we were just out there talking to them. And, another place that we stopped had a view of the Skyway Bridge between some trees. And, we stood out there underneath the palm tree and just kind of tipped our heads to the sun and let the sun recharge our pineal gland and our third eye for a minute, and breathed in the smell of the marshy ocean, because it was along the shoreline. And so, the water is moving out there, but it has a different scent than when you're out in the middle of the ocean or at the beach versus along the shoreline where we were. It's a little more stagnant and a little funkier, but it's got a peaceful smell to it if it's something that you love. So, we kind of breathed that in for a minute, and it was just beautiful. It was lovely. You know, so those are the things that I want you to find. Is it a smell? Is it a sound? Is it a place? Is it a feeling? Find that and check back in with that as often as you can, because those are the things that recharge your soul and recharge your spirit and make you feel alive and connected to the universe and connected to the earth and just connected to source, God, goddess, universe, higher power, whatever it is that you call it. We're all energetic beings and we're all creations. And so, we all want and have the need to be connected to that, whatever it is for you. And it's imperative for your spirit and your soul to check back in with that. So I encourage you to do that. Again, like I said, message me if you have problems trying to figure out how to connect to that. If, you just don't understand, you want an explanation on how to better do that. Like, how do I find what my source is? How do I find what I'm connected to? How do I find that peace, even just for a moment, so that you can reflect back on it? These are memories that I'm going to take with me for months on end and probably the rest of my life. I'll always remember, that afternoon that I spent with Peggy. I'll always remember sitting with my mom on her front porch and in her backyard, just not even talking, just kind of just sitting there with her. And, I'm always going to remember sitting with my brother at his pool and just hanging out with him and shooting the shit. So those are the things that we need to have more of and just have in the catalog of our mind, so that when things are down and rushed and, we're feeling displaced or, just not settled in our life, those are the things that we can pull from to settle our spirit and settle our soul. So thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope that, you have some of those files that you can pull from and can reflect on. I would love to hear what they are. I would love to hear your stories and tell me, what it is that when you sit and you reflect back on. Is there a scent or a sound or a place that just brings you back into source? Tell me about that. Message me on Instagram or Facebook, or, send me an email at thesuburbanmisfit@gmail.com. I would love to hear about that, because I love hearing how people connect back to source and spirit and just find that peace and that homey feeling. So I hope to hear from you guys soon. Peace, love, flow.